Now, Ewell stopping allowed the Union to bring up reinforcements for Cemetery Ridge, for Big Round Top, and for Little Round Top, and become entrenched up a hill, which is usually a bad thing for the other side. So on July 2nd, Lee orders Longstreet to attack the south end of the battle line. He's met by Union forces that were supposed to be on Little Round Top, but they actually messed up and they were not on Little Round Top, but he still could not break through. Confederates also tried to climb Little Round Top. It was defended by one unit led by a man named Joshua Chamberlain, who was actually a college professor before the war. And if you want to know more about Gettysburg Day 2, here it is. Some on Longstreet and some on Chamberlain. Now, Lee tries to break through one more time with a full frontal assault on Cemetery Ridge. The assault's known as Pickett's Charge, and it fails miserably. It was awful. And if you want to know more about Gettysburg Day 3, there you go. And a clip from the movie. So in November of 1863, Lincoln actually returns to Gettysburg and compares the struggle of the war to the Declaration of Independence. And that was the Gettysburg Address. So some more about Gettysburg Address. And yet some more. Now, following his victory at Vicksburg, Grant continued to push west to the east. And after he wins a major battle at Chattanooga, Lincoln finally says, yo, this is the guy to lead the full army. And he gives him command of the full army. Now, Grant has two strategies. One, he's going to defeat Lee wherever he may be. He's going to go and he's going to hit Lee head on. And his second is a strategy of total war. He's going to take the war to the people of the South. Grant actually takes control of the Eastern Army himself. Even though he was over both the East and the West, he took control of the East himself. And they fight several brutal battles, including the Battle of the Wilderness, Spotsylvania, and Cold Harbor. And these battles, because Grant was at let's hit them head on, they inflicted heavy losses on both sides, which made the public outcry grow. Grant knew, though, that as he hits him head on, he can replace his troops. Lee can't. And more on Grant. Yet some more on Grant. Now, William Sherman replaces Grant with the Western Army, and he begins to march his troops from Chattanooga to Savannah, and he burns everything in his path while looting and pillaging. The Confederates put up a fight to about Atlanta, and then after that, Atlanta's burned, and it's just cavalry really standing in Sherman's way. And it includes the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain, which you could actually go to that battlefield, which is fairly close. And there's the burning. Now, if you want to know more about Sherman, there you go. And there you go again. Now, in 1864, Lincoln actually defeats George McClellan, yes, the general he fired a bunch of times, in the presidential election, which meant for the South that there is no way there's going to be a negotiated peace. Lincoln will not back down. And if you want to know more about the election of 1864, there you go. So by the summer of 64, Grant had pushed Lee to Petersburg, which was very close to Richmond. And he did his siege tactics. He cut off rail access, and he bombarded them until Lee ordered the retreat from Petersburg. Want to know more about Petersburg? There you go. Now, the loss at Petersburg left Richmond defenseless, so it was evacuated and burned by the Union Army. Lee's last hope was to join the Confederate Army that was in North Carolina, but his exhausted troops were trapped at Appomattox Courthouse. And on November 9th, 1865, Lee officially surrenders at Appomattox. But they don't get all the scattered Confederate forces to officially surrender completely until June. If you want to know more about the Appomattox Courthouse, there you go. Now, 2 days after the surrender, Lincoln is shot by John Wilkes Booth. Wilkes Booth actually dies in the manhunt to try to find him, and then his conspirators, including a woman who let the conspirators meet in her hotel, were caught and they were hung. And if you want to know more about Lincoln's assassination, there you go. There you go again.